Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Think and Grow Rich. If this is the first time you've been here, hello, my name is Jess. It's really good to see you. If you have been here before and you know me, hello, it's also good to see you. So Think and Grow Rich is a series that I started on my channel, and the reason I started it is because of this book, Think and Grow Rich. I started reading it and then I decided to make a video on each chapter as I did so that if you guys are reading it, you can follow along, or even if you aren't reading it, maybe you can get something out of it. So I've already made quite a few videos, and just for some context, what this book is about is it's on 13 principles of success. Each chapter is on a different principle, and throughout the series I have been saying there's 14 principles, but there's actually not. I just discovered today there's 13 principles. So today is the last principle because we're doing principle 13. But there is going to be a video next week, and that is on how to outwit. For some reason I can't say outwit, because I just filmed this and I said outwit. How to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. So that's the last chapter, that will be next week. But today's principle and today's video is on the 6th sense. So let's hop into what that is. So the 6th sense. I've heard people use this when they speak about having an inner knowing, or just knowing something without knowing how they know it. So example, if people say, I just had a 6th sense that something was going wrong with her, or I had a 6th sense that somebody was in an accident, or I just had the 6th sense that something good was going to happen tomorrow. So it's used when people know something but they don't really know how they know that thing. Or it's like knowing something about a location, but you aren't actually in that location and you aren't seeing it. And I don't know if you've seen the movie called The Sixth Sense. Honestly, one of my favorite movies. I love it so much. So Napoleon Hill speaks about the 6th sense, and he says that there's like a part in the brain that's, and it's kind of what I was saying in the previous episode, but we receive messages through this particular part of the brain. And he says that sometimes we can get inspiration and we can get hunches, or we could just get ideas that seems to come out of nowhere. And that's what he refers to the 6th sense. So an example is, I don't know if you've seen on my channel a few weeks ago, I started this thing called the 44 Days of Gratitude Challenge. And the reason why, so basically, like, just for some context, every single day I asked another question, like what color are you grateful for, which person in your life are you grateful for, and I had that every single day, and it seemed like people enjoyed it. And then I know somebody asked me, like, how did you just get that idea? And it's really weird because it was something that just came to my mind a few days before I started it. And it just like randomly came to my mind. I was like, this is such a good idea, I should really do this. So it was almost like an external source that had told me about it. And that's what I find is the best ideas are usually the ideas that come out of nowhere. So Napoleon Hill says that there's this universal mind, or I guess like this universal energy. And then when you use your 6th sense, you can tap into that energy. So I guess that's how sometimes people can know what's happening over there. Because say if all of us have minds and we're all, like all of us have this energy and that goes into a pot. So like if I'm in trouble, my energy in my brain, I guess, is going into this pot. And if you know how to tap into that pot, then you can see like what I'm thinking and you can sense that something's wrong. I don't know if that made any sense. But yeah, he's basically saying that there's this universal mind, there's this universal energy, and we can tap into it. And then he says like some good ways of doing it are meditation. So I have made a video on meditation, definitely go check that out if you would like to learn how to meditate and what to do and how meditation even helps. So something I found really interesting about this chapter, and it's something I was like, that's so cool. I would like to try that, and I want to get like other people to try it too, because I think it sounds super cool. But Napoleon Hill was busy saying that something that he did in his life was that he took 9 people that he really admired. So he chose 9 people that he really admired, and then every night before he went to sleep, he would pretend that he was having basically a business meeting with these 9 people. So he went to bed, and then before he fell asleep, he would try to visualize this. So basically sitting at a table with the 9 people that he admired the most, and then he would have a conversation with each of them. And he said, like, in the beginning he was doing this in order to, like, take on their traits. So if you really admire someone, example, who's super confident and you don't feel that confident, then it can help to visualize yourself speaking to this confident person and saying, like, how are you so confident? What do you do? And then, my dad's walking past. Okay, yeah, so it can help to, like, visualize this confident person and speak to them, because actually what will end up happening is that you will end up also becoming more confident. As strange as that may sound, I know that it really does work. I'll tell you in a second why. But then he was also saying, so in the beginning he did this in order to take on their traits, or the traits that he wanted. He would speak to these people and get their traits because of that. But then he also said eventually he would start going to the table and asking these 9 people how to solve a particular problem. So if he had a problem, then he would show up and he would ask these people in his mind, like, how do I solve this problem? And then he would get each person to tell him. So anyway, I was going to say, like, how the reason why I think that this would work is because I'm quite into creative writing, and I have written a lot in the past and even now, and something that I feel like I learn from the characters I write about. So I'll, like, have this person in my head, like this character, I end up knowing a lot about them and, like, their habits and stuff. And I have noticed that, like, with some of my characters, I have picked up on their traits. Like, I've got this one character who's super, like, confident and more extroverted, and I feel like since I've come up with her, I have become more confident. So that's why I think that this works, and I think it's super cool, and it just makes sense, honestly, because I don't know if you've heard the phrase, you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. And I know it's an imaginary thing, I guess, like, you're just imagining 9 people that you really admire. They're not really out there in the real world. But the thing is that the brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening out there and what's happening inside here. So you can teach your brain things. If you're around people who are negative and horrible, imagine yourself with people who are nice and who are kind. And then you can, like, tap into their energy. And I mean, I also think, so he chose 9 people that he does know, or like 9 real people, and then he had them in his mind. But I feel like you can probably also do, like, make up your own people. So don't necessarily, like, take on real people. You can if you want, I guess. But I think how I would do it is, I would say, because I feel like the concern of, if I was to imagine a real person, is what happens if you actually meet this person and now you've got a different idea of them. So if I chose, like, Robin Sharma, for some reason he's on my mind, but, like, if I chose him and then I would visualize him every single night, then what would happen if I actually met him? And then I'd be like, because I've already basically created this whole life story for him, and that's not actually him. So that's why I think it might be better to make up people, I guess, because you're probably not going to meet that exact person. You're probably going to meet people who have those traits, I feel. But yeah, but anyway, like, you do whatever you want to do. I just thought it was a really cool concept. I think I'm going to try to do it for 30 days and see what happens. Yeah, I just think it sounds so cool, because it's like speaking to people who have traits that you really would like, and then your brain's becoming more accustomed to that type of energy, and it might see, actually, like, I do want to be a confident person. I actually think that we have a whole bunch of traits inside of us. We probably have the potential to have any single trait. This is just my opinion. I don't know if it's true. This is how I feel, like, how I experience life, is I feel like I could be anything if I wanted to be. And it's just about choosing to be that thing. So I feel like I could be like more extrovert and confident if I wanted to be like that, but sometimes it's like there's fears and we don't know how to do it. So I think it does definitely help to speak to somebody who does have more of that. And then with the solving problem thing, I think that's also quite cool because it's like in a sense it's brainstorming, but brainstorming inside your own mind. And yeah, like Napoleon Hill says that, as I said, like there's this universal part of energy, and so by doing that, you could be taking on other people's energies and tapping into other people's minds. So yeah, so that's what today's video is about. If you do this or you have done this, please let me know if it worked. As I said, I'm also going to try to do it because I think it's super interesting and like quite cool actually. So yeah, but I'd love to know if it works, and even if you are somebody who is a writer example, do you find that you learn from your characters? But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like, and then please subscribe down below. Share this with anyone you think would enjoy it, and then I'll see you next weekend with a new video and the last episode of Think and Grow Rich. Bye, guys!